So these are my sun sign predictions for Gemini in 2024. So hi everyone, and thanks for joining me for your sun sign astrology. Basically, the basic astrology, something simple about your sign for the year ahead. So let's have a look first of all at some of the things that are happening in the sky. First, there's going to be Pluto is moving into Aquarius. Now, Pluto is is the furthest out of the planet, so it moves very, very slowly, and it's moving into Aquarius from January the 20th until September the 1st, and then it's coming out of it for a while and back in again from November the 19th right through to March 2043. And Pluto deals with lots of the things involved with society at large and ages, as it were, the sort of eras we're entering. So Pluto entering Aquarius is a pretty good thing. We can have it there for the next 19 years. So this is good news for everybody, really, and good news for society generally and the world at large. It brings Pluto in Aquarius brings innovation of new ideas. It brings new opportunities, new inspiration, and hopefully some better human values. So with all the troubles we're getting in the world, it's an optimistic thing to have Pluto moving into Aquarius. This should open up lots of new beginnings, lots of new starts for us. There's going to be a number of eclipses in 2024, of course, and these are also give energy to the periods when there's an eclipse. And eclipses bring sort of transformation. Eclipses empower. They clear out the old and they bring in the new. So one of the most significant is going to be around September time, when there'll be an eclipse in the sign of Pisces. And this is positive news. And it's positive news again for the world because it can bring things like new inventions and new discoveries, medical discoveries and things like that. So that will be hopefully something good for the news for the world ahead. There's going to be the main eclipses are going to be Libra is going to have a full moon lunar eclipse on the 25th of March. Aries has a new moon solar eclipse on the 8th of April. Pisces, the full moon lunar eclipse on the 17th of September. And Libra's new moon solar eclipse on the 2nd of October. So the eclipses, so we get things like, you consider these dates as new starts, new ventures, times, any of those dates are good times to make changes. A lot of astrologers believe that solar eclipses are all about new beginnings, and lunar eclipses are clearing out the old. So those are the points of changing points in the times around ahead. Jupiter conjunct Venus in Taurus on the April the 20th, 2024. This happens around every 14 years because this is again the slow moving planets outside of the asteroid belt. This doesn't happen very often, but Jupiter in astrology is always a good sign, a planet of expansion. It magnifies anything. It brings good fortune. It's jovial. It's a positive. It brings prosperity, opportunity, optimism, hope, and more meaning to life as well. So we have Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Taurus on the 20th of April. That's another good energetic time for people. Lots of good things happening with Jupiter this year, particularly as its influence in Aquarius. And Uranus, of course, is the planet of change. It's also a planet of concern with social awareness and evolution of humanity and things like this. It usually sits it's good in the sign of Aquarius again. So all this is quite positive news for the world ahead. Perhaps are going to be an energetic time for most of us. Actually, it collectively invites a kind of a new wave of thoughts of liberation, thoughts of freedom are going to be very important this year ahead in terms of the planets. Lots of changes, many elections happening around the world. These are all in my predictions, of course, but there's lots happening with that. So lots of changes, and often changes for the good, the way things are looking. Jupiter is going to be in Gemini on May 25th, right through to June the 9th. 2025, and this is a planet that can bring good luck and good fortune and abundance again, and it brings opportunities wherever it travels, and particularly when in Gemini. So all of these things are happening in the stars. These are all things that will influence all the signs. But now let's have a look at your individual sign. Right, you're an enthusiastic sort of person, Gemini, aren't you? You like to talk, you like activity, you like communications, you like jokes and things like that. But the first part of the year, you're not able to completely express all of these things. It's a kind of a slower start to the beginning of the year, I have to say. So it's a time perhaps to think more in terms of being a bit more reflective, being more careful, being meditative, getting over all the hangovers that were still hanging around you from 2023, actually. So slower start, but then the year begins to really blossom, particularly as Jupiter's in your sign starting in May. And this means things will be sort of expanding and growing for you. You can get rid of all the problems of the past, drop the old, and have a really sort of more enthusiastic feeling that we're at a new beginning, you know. So it's a slow move into this. And then your best time is around May time, again, like I've said, when you will start to get that influence of Jupiter around you, which always brings, like I said at the beginning of the talk here today, energy, fun, money, opportunity, and a more cheerful disposition for you for the way ahead. So it should be a good time, I think, particularly from that period as well, when you can start to express the emotional side of yourself and attract more soulful type of love, more meaningful sort of love relationships. There's a feeling around you that's been from before of a time where you've been kind of held back, like you've been emotionally drained by people, where people have not been much fun. But the cheerfulness starts to take hold during 2024 for you, particularly this influence of a Jupiter that we mentioned here. From February the 13th until March the 23rd are going to be very important times for you for your love world as well, when you're going to perhaps be rethinking about things, getting new thoughts and making the plans for the future. But things really start to pick up, like I say, from about the 25th of May, when Jupiter links with your sun sign. And this will also bring lots of professional opportunities at this time. It's been frustrating for you for some while, you know. You've also got the presence of Saturn and Neptune, leaving you sometimes feeling uncertain about direction. So that the Saturn always holds one back a little bit sometimes, makes you think, makes you plan for the time ahead. But there's going to be, from September to December, there's going to be times when you're going to feeling much more a need to take control, maybe wanting to start thinking about stepping into a more management type of role for you in those times, if that appeals to you, and to take more control generally of your career and your working life. And this has been a kind of a gradual need through the year to get to this point where you feel towards the end of 2024 you're much more in a position where you can control things in your life, in both in your emotional life and in your business, or if you do business, and in your career, and on all areas of your life, because you've always felt a little bit drained up to now. As we're coming up to Christmas now, when I'm making this video, you kind of feel everything's got to me, everything's drained me, I don't feel myself properly, I don't feel strong in myself. But 2024 is going to be a time that's going to be a time of personal growth, you know, so make the best of it. And it's like I said at the beginning, it's a slower start. We gradually accelerate into a much more speedy time as you're going through the summer and towards the end of the year. A much more sense of energetic feeling and an optimism growing in you slowly. But let it come in gradually, and the momentum will build through this year. You've got quite a few good energies with the eclipses around September the 17th or October the 2nd too, you know, the two autumn eclipses. They'll also be very good times for you, where you will find support from people. People can help you out. Don't always be afraid not to accept support. You're quite an independent-minded person very often, but you know, sometimes you need help and guidance to help you master things. Anyway, that's it. So that's your year ahead, a year of energy that gradually builds. Well, I hope you enjoyed your sun sign astrology, as we call it. And of course, as you know, it can only be kind of quite simple, really. It will only cover the very basics of a star sign, but hopefully gain something from that and get a bit of an idea of the year ahead for 2024. But I want to tell you about something that's really, really fascinating, which is called the Nadi Oracle. So now, some of you would have read about this in my books already and already explored this, but there's a system in India that goes back thousands and thousands of years, in which there was what's called the ancient rishis. Now, these were kind of like astrologers, but they were seers. And they could foresee the future of any person that would ever come and call upon those rishis, as it were. And they wrote it all down on palm leaves, which are like an Indian book made out of wood. It looks like a sort of like rulers, with it all written down in ancient Tamil language. And they wrote down the future of anybody that consults them. I consulted them, and it completely blew my mind. It tells you all about your life in total detail, even giving the name of your parents and the date and time of your birth. And even if you don't know the time of your birth, it will give it to you, and it will know your name, even if you don't give your name or anything like that. It's absolutely remarkable. Now, I was one of the first kind of modern YouTubers, or people in the West generally, to first start really exploring these ancient Nadi leaves. And now they've become available to anybody that wants to consult them. And it's very, very hard to get a proper Nadi reading. It's very, very hard to find this ancient wisdom source. There's Nadi readers out there that are complete fakes. And the good ones are now so booked up, they're now booked up years in advance. Now, where I've been working with the Nadi readers, they have agreed that the readings that come through me are given top priority. They jump the queue. So instead of having to wait years, you can wait just a few months to get your Nadi readings. Now, this may change. So if you want a Nadi reading through me, and a lot of you know about this already who follow the channels, if you want a Nadi reading from me, now is the time, because this window might close. So have a look in the description below. And what you're going to need to do is go to the link in the description below and then send me an email through the form on the site. Just the contact form on the site. And just say, Craig, I'd like to get a Nadi reading. Can you put me in touch with them, or something like that? Just so I know what it's about. And then I'll copy you in and send and forward your emails to the Nadi readers, so that you get prioritized on getting a Nadi reading. There's a little bit on the page that explains what it is. But you really also, if you're going to do this, this is not like your normal astrology by any means whatsoever. It's a very, very powerful thing that can be very transformative in your life. I'm not just going to flog you the book. I would like you to read the book if you do go into it. So have a look at my book, Messages from the Universe, in which I talk about what happened, how it happened to me, how I checked it all out for frauds and all the rest of it. And it just gives you some idea about what it's all about. I've also produced a film about it on Amazon Prime, which you can go and watch for free if you're an Amazon Prime member, called Mystic Journey to India. I had to think for a minute there, and you can learn about it as well. But if you want to know about the sort of astrology that'll leave you sort of mind boggled, then this is your chance. So have a look in the description below. Like I say, this window will not be open for long. This is probably going to be one of your last chances to get a Nadi reading. So if you're thinking about doing it, now's your time. Get in touch with me, guys, and I'll forward it through to you. Like they say, very few people can get their Nadis. That's why the door is closing, because so many have come to it, and there's only a few readers that are really, truly out there that can do this. There's lots that claim they can. There's only very, very, very few. They're so rare. As you're reading the book, if you want to do the research. Okay, there we go. I was not doing that just as an ad. I know that many of you are very interested in this. So, okay, thanks for joining me. And like I say, have a look at the description below. Don't forget to give me a like and give me a thumbs up, because that helps these videos to reach out further. And don't forget to follow my channel. And thanks for everything, for all your support, you guys, for all your support through 2023. And I think for a minute I've been saying 2024 all the time. All your thought and all your lovely comments and all those that have been patrons that have helped the site. Thank you, guys. And we wish you a happy new year for all of you. Okay, see you soon. Bye for now.